Yes, yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Straightjacket podcast. Podcast 356. We're here on a Monday, giving you all the latest news, all the latest talking points on Man United and anything that's happening in the world. You know what I'm saying? Big up to you lot. Big up to Minna. How are you? All good?
Good, man. Been around busy last couple of weeks, but yeah, good, bro.
Yeah, big up to you, Minna. Big up to my like Nuruddin with the culture cap on. You know what I'm saying? Big up to you, man. How are you?
No, big up Nadeem, man. Big up Nadeem. Big up Nadeem.
Yeah.
Big up to you.
Big
Big up,
you.
man. I'm good. Just walked on. Apologies, I'm running a bit late.
No, don't worry, man. Don't worry. I just wonder where the books are at, man. I don't see the books anymore. Like, they're all gone. Let me see where they are right now. Because normally you see the books, everything right there. But yeah, it's maybe on the side, yeah? You left it on the side now.
1 second, show you quickly.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. The books are there, man. The Glazonomics. They're there, mate.
A bit more. Maybe this one. Yeah. In a bit more. There we go.
There we go, man, people. Well, big up to everyone locked in. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And yeah, man. Is everyone feeling okay? Dude, have you calmed down after Fast tried to rattle you on Saturday? You know what I'm saying? He got a bit mad at the end. I had to leave you to it because I was like, what is going on here, mate? Because I think Fast was happy with a point. You weren't happy. I was like, yeah, I'm not happy as well. But yeah, how are you, man? You feel a bit better now? Do you feel like
actually, I'm not Saeed. I'm gonna time it. We're gonna see if it works, bro. You're gonna send them to the video because I'm sick of this. Yeah. I've got a video coming out after the show, people, because where I break it down. But I'm just sick of this policing that at the end of the day, if you want to be a casual, you be a casual, yeah? But if you watch the match, if you watch the game, because all it is become is worshipping Amorim or worshipping managers. That means if you don't worship managers, that means your manager's out. No, it's not that. I'm not part of this extreme. You know me.
I agree.
I have never always focused. I've always focused. Always try to tell people who are the decision makers, where the fault always lies with. But I'm sorry, man. It wasn't a good performance. I don't think it was a good performance. And I've watched the game again, Saeed. I know that I torture myself because I'm one of those weirdos, nerds. I watched the game again. And actually, on second watch, it was even more dreadful what Manchester United were doing on the football pitch. We scored 2 goals from set pieces. And in the second half, we got absolutely bullied. And the tactics him using, Saeed, this Mbermo and Cunha dropping in to make it a 4. Yes, you can do that against teams who play open. You can't do that against teams like Nottingham Forest because then there's nobody to stretch the game. And for me, I'm looking at it, I think, the naivety of Amorim. And then he comes out with that quote, which after the game, for me, is an insult to every Manchester United fan, where he's saying, I can't change it because they need a guy to be in the box. Tell me how many times did Sesko touch the ball in the second half? Like, what are we doing here?
It was minimal. Minimal.
What are we doing here? Like, it's for me, I'm just sick of the fan base police fans who rightly so critique a football game, not 2 games ago, critique that game and say, you know what, this is what we did well. This is what we could have done better. The players have let us down and the in-game management was bad. You can't say that, Saeed. You can't say that. That means you're hammering out. But we've just won 3 games. And that means that, so what it means is that if you criticize the coach and the players, when we win, you're not allowed to be happy. Do you understand?
I agree.
I don't know, because sometimes in my head, I'm like, that is the most illogical BS I have ever heard in my life. As United fans, we're all happy when we win. Yeah? Because we've not been winning. So when we critique the coach, and then the people are making it out like Nottingham Forest are some certified 20 years Premier League top 3 team. Like, what are we doing here? They were in the bottom 3 for a reason. They've had 3 managers for a reason. They've not been doing well. Like, what are we doing here? So at the end of the day, when you critique the coach and the performance of the players, all of a sudden you're the coach out. No, I'm always these Muppets out. Always. That's one thing you know about me, my agenda. I give credit where credit is due. If a player that I don't like or I don't fancy or I don't think is a good player for Manchester United, if they play well, I always tell it. I say, you know what? They actually played well this game. Because I always try to be honest. And one thing I think the audience will never accuse me of me being disingenuous or not being honest about my football opinions. But what Vaz was doing is what Vaz is on a journey, Saeed. He's on a journey to be, somebody's got to do something. And at the end of the day, that's what he was talking about. So for me, no, I've not calmed down, Saeed, because I believe
I can tell.
United were woeful in the second half of that game. And our away record is not, and there's a pattern occurring. Manchester United away performances is woeful, and the coach sits there like he did against the game against Spurs in that final, sits there like he can't do anything other than how can I change the defense, the wing backs? That's his favorite thing to go to. I'll change the wing back and a centre half. But other than that, because if I change, I mean, that statement he put out, am I exaggerating, or isn't that an insult to our football intelligence?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the problem is, though, now, if you're not playing well, I think for me, you got to come off. And that's for the front three that was on the pitch. Like, he's saying that it's like for like, so Cunha for Zirkzee, I'm not really gaining anything. You know what I mean? Mainu, might as well forget that or that. I'm done talking about Mainu right now because he don't really, fancy him. But he kind of was alluding to the fact that he didn't really see that there was going to be much of a change. But you'll never know. You'll never know, like, if there's a lot of change. Problem is, though, we're not going to change out of our system. You get me? Like, we're not going to do that. So it's going to be still the same kind of shape and formation. So, I don't know. Mason Mount could have done maybe a job. I don't know. Like, it's one of them. Is he an impact player? Probably not. But I don't know, Mina. What do you think? Like, could have been what? An Ahmad goal at the end could have been, could have won it if it wasn't for Murillo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Blocking over the line. I don't know what about him. Murillo's got something against us, because he's done this twice
done that
now.
last season, isn't it?
Yeah, he did it last season.
Off the line last season as well.
He did last season. So
I'm shocked a little bit with the reaction, just because I'm thinking I would understand the reactions if United didn't come into this 3 games on the bounce, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I would understand there's a lot of skepticism in the fan base, if you want to call it that. Because when I watched the game and when I watched the Forest game on Saturday, and even other games during the season, I think there's an imbalance in the team. I'll be honest. And I think when we play against a lot of opponents, sometimes that imbalance is on show slightly more. And I think in the Forest game, it was quite, like, for me, your striker shouldn't have the least number of touches on the field in the second half, especially when you are I would argue to say that Manchester United going into that game had less of a point to prove than Forest. I think Forest had a big point to prove. I think Sean Dyche had a big point to prove. And I think the pressure on Manchester United may not have been as significant as I think the pressure on Nottingham Forest. So they were happy with that point, because I don't even think they've got a victory yet in the Premier League. They haven't got a win yet.
One.
They got one.
No,
so they would be...
Yeah, one.
So they would be happy with that point. But going into that game and throughout that 90 minutes, I think my mood kind of changed in cycles. And that's Man United in a nutshell. First 30 minutes, I'm thinking, yep, this is going to be a good game. The next 30 minutes, I'm like, I don't know about that one. The next 30 minutes is a bit up and down. Like, it's one part of it, I'm feeling like United might win, vice versa. I'm thinking, you know what, we might draw. But I'm not angry. If anything, I'm annoyed at the fact that we didn't get 3 points, because I felt like we could have got 3 points if we had been more proactive in some instances. I think our biggest downfall this season is going to be our left-hand side. I'm happy and content with Man United's right-hand side on a technical level, on a creativity level, but on the left-hand side, I think the players on that side have to have their hands held. And what I mean by that, and that's not me picking at Cunha or Dallo, etc., but Cunha and Bruno are very similar to me in the same instance that Mbeumo and Ahmad pick up the same spaces, and it took them some time to unlearn that. I don't know if you lot realize, but a lot of the time when United are attacking, and especially when Bruno's putting a delivery in the box or Cunha's putting a delivery in the box, both of them are sitting off of the box, both of them are outside of the box. And instead of going for that equality in numbers in the box with the opponent, we're a man or two down, because Cunha will sit off, Bruno will sit off. Ahmad might make a late run back post. Dallo will sit off as well if he's playing that left wing back. I just feel like there's a lot of imbalances, honestly, in the team, and I'm not expecting that to be solved in a 3-4 game win streak. I'm not expecting that, and I know it's going to be a game by game process, and that's why I said to you the last time I was here on the Straightjacket. I said take each game as it comes. Like going into the Spurs game, it's not necessarily for me a clean slate based on everything that's just happened now, but I'm looking at everything that has happened in the last 4 or 5 games for United. I'm thinking, what have we learned from that? What have we learned from the draws? What have we learned from the wins? And what can we take from that into the Spurs game? People are already thinking ahead. Like when the Forest game, for example, before the Forest game, people were already thinking ahead to Spurs, as if we already beat Forest. And I know it sounds like I know it sounds like a cop out when you say focus on every game, but Manchester United for me are in a position with Ruben Amorim and the players at his disposal. Especially for me, it's come on. People are still trying to figure out where they should be, and the manager is literally. I could hear through my stream, the manager shouting. I think he was shouting at Dallo in like the first 20 minutes, telling him where to be. So if players proactively don't know what they should be doing, it's going to take time for you know to see on a consistent basis. And that's why I think Manchester United, we're going to have highs this season, and then we're going to have the back to earth, back to reality kind of check. But I'm shocked to see everybody, like people being mad about the Forest as well. I'm more annoyed at the fact it could have been a win, and we should have. The state that Nottingham Forest are in,
I agree.
Beat them.
I agree. I think the imbalance here, people have been asking for Mason Mount to maybe be starting, and whether Mason Mount helps the team a little bit, because when we maybe form a 3 in midfield, whereas maybe we're a bit too attacking. I don't know. For me personally, if you're reverting back to Mason Mount having signed that front 3, then it's a backward step for me.
For me, the front three have to play, but also I think this might sound. I like Cunha. I think he's a good player, but he needs to know now he's not.
I agree.
Wolves anymore, and he's not the best player in the team, so he doesn't have to carry the burden and the weight and drag the team from their own half all the way into the final third. He doesn't have to do that, and I think it's going to take him some time to unlearn that. The same way with Brian Mbeumo had to learn with not. The first couple of games with Brian Mbeumo, we weren't really finding him in behind.
No.
Those passes in behind that he was probably so used to at Brentford. It took some time for that to kind of evolve. And then what happened? He gets that pass in behind at Anfield and he scores. We just have to be patient with that with Cunha. I know, but I've seen people drawing Cunha out already. But Cunha just has to unlearn that behavior of not being the savior for the team, because, when you're at a team like Wolves and you're the best player, you're coming here now and you're thinking, okay, I need to do what I was doing at Wolves. You don't, because it's a different environment and it's a different number of players, and you should be you're playing in a different system. Your responsibilities are different. Everything is different. So I'll be patient. I personally wouldn't break up the front 3. This is your front 3. You spent 200 million on it. Players like Mason Mount, for me, should be at your disposal when you need a tactical tweak. Okay, maybe there might be a game where you need to start Mason Mount, but it shouldn't be, in my opinion, a regular occurrence, because it should be those games where you need that one off the ball pest that's going to do all the work for everybody else. And in that way, you might feel like you're a man down in build up, because Mason Mount maybe has those passes to offer you, etc. But he's not going to do what Mbeumo does or a Cunha does or a Sesko does. But I think there's a time and place for Mason Mount. I only think the reason why people are saying start Mason Mount, he should be starting, I think it's because, like Nuruddin always says, everybody loves the scapegoat and everyone loves the savior. Because the second Mason Mount comes into the team and you realize United ain't creating anything or they're not scoring, everybody's going to start attacking him.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. This is why I think for me it's deeper than just one player. So when people say, "Oh, but we got to bring that one player in, and that might unlock that one player," it's not, man. It's not, and we don't really have plans for different styles. Like the manager spoke a good game before the game, saying, "Oh, Nottingham Forest will be a different game." But then again, like I didn't really see much of that idea. You know what I mean? Like they were getting through to our midfield in a sense, and the wing backs weren't doing what they need to do. So you can speak a good game, but then is there actions behind it? And when we do, if the front 3, my problem with the system is that if the front 3 don't turn up, then United don't turn up. But they all have bad games. Like not one of them had a good game. And I'm like, surely you can have one of them having a good game, but for some reason, no, not one of them had a good game, because they're probably, like you said, Minna, You know what I mean? Picking up the same position. And that cross from Bruno told me everything, like in terms of nobody was in the box, you know? So it's frustrating, man. I think that's one of them where that game will be that game. We won't play that same game maybe against Tottenham. Tottenham might be a bit open. Then all of a sudden, Mbeumo on them might cook against Tottenham. So we might be looking at this game thinking, you know what? You beat Tottenham. The Forest point doesn't look as bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think for me, it's frustration. I didn't go mad. You know what I mean? Maybe like Nora did, which is kind of crazy. Normally it's the opposite. But I didn't go mad. But I still think for me, I was a little bit rattled. Like, we should have won. But, you know what I mean? Like you said, if you beat Tottenham, everything is kind of, you know what I mean? We don't look at it in the same breath as maybe if you kind of lost it. What are you going to say there, Nordin?
Yeah, so basically, like, I wasn't mad. I think Mina expressed it, but maybe that's what it comes off as. I'm just passionate, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I was watching the game with you, Saeed, and like I said, I've only got 2 coaching badges, but how come I can see things that are happening on the football pitch, yeah? And I can see. Mina, have you played in teams, yeah? When your player's been man-marked, what are the coach's view to say, what should you do when you're getting man-marked?
What? What'd you say, sorry?
When you're man-marked, let's say a player, you're one of your best players man-marked, what do you know, have you ever to privy to conversations where a player's been man-marked, where the coach says, if you get man-marked, move the player around, get him moving out of that space.
Move around, bring him out.
Yeah, move around. Yeah, move. So let's look at it. You watched the game in the second half, Mina. Saeed in the chat. Elliot Anderson's man marking, we saw it clearly. Elliot Anderson was man marking in Burma, right? In Burma was the biggest threat and the other thing that what Saeed's saying, just to go to what Saeed was saying, Saeed's saying that we didn't see anything different because the coach talked a good game. Saeed, we tripled down on what we did against Liverpool and what we did against Brighton. What were the 2 main big difference between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool and Brighton? Liverpool, Brighton play very open, attacking, expansive style of football.
I agree.
Where they give you spaces, where there's spaces for you to run to. So the 2-10s drop in. So I don't know if you noticed, Mina, but the 2-10s drop, don't they? So we make that like 4-4-2. You know, when we're battling for second balls. The reason why Casemiro and Bruno have looked better in midfield, and people are saying, oh, you can't talk about Bruno, because I'm like, well, we played against teams who play open, and we're fighting for the second ball. Now, if you know anything about Sean Dyche is the second ball merchant coach. Him, the Tony Pulis, the Sam Allardyce, they're percentages coaches. They play percentages. Even though I think Sean Allardyce has evolved over time. If you look at first time at Burnley, what the types of football he was doing. When he moved on to Everton, he was more expansive, actually. He likes his midfielders to get on the ball and start dictating play. Remember, I was on here with you guys, and I was like, I've just come back from Everton. We beat them, but they bobbed us. I was talking about that young United player who's playing for them at Everton. What's his name?
Gardner.
Gardner.
Yeah, saying that. I was like, I left early because Ghana was bopping Manchester United off the park, right? How come Ghana bobbles of the football park, right? And they come home over and we scored the more goals and beat them, but it wasn't convincing, right? So the biggest thing for me, what I'm here to make is that I am not accepting 10 points from 4 games, because I take every game has its own story. Every game is its own game, right? And what Mina was saying that, yeah, we started off all right, we're 1-0 up, and then we come out, we sit back, and then in 2 minutes we concede, right? We concede, and then we have to rescue it with Ahmad at the end. But the biggest thing for me is that as a coach, I love coaches, yeah? My favorite, you want to know what my favorite coaches are? My favorite coaches in the world football are coaches who sit there and read a game. That is, honestly, and you might be shocked, people, because I'm going to shock you, because Saeed might kick me out. Guess who's one of the best at doing this? At Manchester United. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Gunnar Solskjaer.
That's
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would read a game and go, right, this is what's happening. We're getting overloaded on this side. This is what we're going to do. We're going to low block. Yeah, does it mean that because they read it, that means that we didn't get beat? No, we can still get beat even though when you read the game. To me, Ruben Amorim has a lack of reading the games, specifically the away games. He has a lack of understanding of what's going on in the game. And people like me, who are amateurs like me and like you, Mina, and all of us who watch football can see going, you know what? Mbeumo's been man-marked. So what do we do? Why don't we just bring Cunha on this side so Ahmad can get space? What do we know about Nico Williams? Where did Nico Williams play in this team side? Nico Williams usually plays what side? He usually plays on the right-hand side, right? Why did he play in this game? He played where? On the left-hand side. Why? Why is that? Because Manchester United's right-hand side have been playing really well in the past how many games Manchester United have won. Goals and assists have been coming from where in the team? From the right-hand side. So what do they do? Nico Williams is one of their best players, and Elliot Anderson is their best player. Where do they both go, Saeed? They both go to the left-hand side. They're both on the left-hand side, right? So when a player's being mad in Mbeumo, why don't they go central, actually go on the other side? Saeed, it's easy. And I'm like, why don't the players do it themselves as well? I'm not blaming the coach for anything, but I'm saying, why don't you do it yourself as well? Move the player, take Elliot Anderson with you. He's the most robust player in their team, defensively and attacking wise. On the ball, he's quality, and defensively, he always knows where the ball's going to be. He always knows, and he is so physical that he bullies people of the ball. He bullied Mbeumo. You know, Mbeumo's got loads of gravity. He's not an easy guy to shift, side off the ball. But he made it look like light work what he was doing to Mbeumo. So when you come back to it, when you, Saeed, talk about, well, the front three didn't connect. Saeed, you know why you need the front three? Because you need the midfielders to help, and you need stability feeding them. But when we've played more long balls in the last 4 games, anybody else than we did against Nottingham Forest. So when you tell me the coach is talking a good game, what game did he think? What game did he think they were going to play? You know how easy it is to read fighting for the second ball when the 2-10s are dropping in. What do we know about Mbeumo? I'll ask both you and Mina. What's Mbeumo good at? Mbeumo's not your through kind of David.
No, he's running it behind.
Juan Mata kind of number 10. He's not Juan Mata kind of number 10. He's not your creative David Silva kind of number 10. He's not. He's the Mohamed Salah. The only other player that is similar is Mohamed Salah. What does Mohamed Salah need, Saeed? What does Mbeumo need? You need space to be able to run into, and you need to play on the shoulder of a player where he can go out wide and put a cross in. What do? He gets man-marked, and that side gets shut down. And as Mina said, the left-hand side, it gets shut down. Everything you said, Mina, about Cunha, I agree with. Cunha, one of the big things what he has to stop doing is stop hugging the ball. Move it quickly. Because in that game, we were watching it, it was frustrating to see him, when the ball can be played straight away, he's taking too many touches. And like you said, Mina, because it's the hero complex thing, savior complex thing that he was doing at Wolves. You don't need to do that. The best we've looked at football was Brighton this season. The best we've looked football was against Brighton at Old Trafford. Why was that? The balls were fast and moving. It was quick passing. It was, the passes weren't just like a soft pass. And when I used to coach, whatever lie, I used to tell them 2 different things. This is what I used to try to tell coach people, right? If the player shows for the ball, right, you pass it, you give it, because then if the first touch is good, if you trust your players, you have to know the players you're playing with. If the first touch is good, you fire it into them, right? If the first touch is not that good, and then you both got time in that area of the football pitch, you give it, not have to have it hard, right? So that's the way to destabilize a defense, like especially Nottingham Forest. And yes, they've been dog shite. They're the only team who've had 3 Premier League managers. They are on the worst form. They didn't score a goal for so many hours, and we give them 2 goals. And they were playing for the point, right? But what we did, and the reason why I'm angry and the reason why I'm mad, is because the coach didn't realize it and the players on the football didn't realize it. But also, this goes to the larger point in Manchester United away from, with this coach, has been abysmal, and it's continuing to be abysmal. And people don't want that truth. They don't want that truth. They don't want the truth. So instead, they want to go and scapegoat Sesko. So I've told you.
Yeah, I wanted to discuss
Sesko. I didn't want Sesko. I told you I didn't want Sesko. I wanted somebody like more mobile, in my opinion, like Akatika. I told you when he asked who should Manchester United sign out all these strikers, I said definitely not the sideback from Sweden. I said that. I said, yeah, maybe. I was asking both of you, and we've had loads of discussions on this channel about Osimhen. And I was like, he's the box guy. We need to get people who can cross the ball then, right? So for me, I was going for Katike, but I don't blame Sesko for that game. I don't blame him. What service did he get?
Yeah, that's what kind of made me a bit puzzled. Big up to everyone, by the way, locked in. Make sure you hit the like button. We got a super chat here from Killy says, big up, was at a wedding on the weekend, but saw the match. Dalot sleeping, quality Ahmad goal, and more work needed. Saying, as told with Chelsea, Spurs, and Javi Simmons were decent because two of them weren't. Yeah, we'll do tonight, definitely. How is Dalot starting before Dorgu? Big up to you, Dennis G. And Just Waffle says, was a good 3-game run. Fair play to Amorim, but I think we got a bit overgassed. System still an issue for me, and we're relying on individual quality. I agree with that last bit as well. We are a little bit relying on individual quality, but Gary Neville's been speaking about Sesko, which I kind of find a little bit weird, you know, why he's kind of like done. He's done this twice now about Sesko, but he said here, the jury's still out whether he's well off it compared to the other summer signing Manchester United made up front, like Cunha and Mbumo. He looks awkward, had a couple of good opportunities against Forest, but his touch wasn't quite right. For 80 million, I don't think he was 80 million, by the way. You can say he's young and settling in, but you still want to see him a bit more. Do you think he's being harsh, Minna, here? Or like, because I don't really get like the angle in which he's coming from, because like with Højlund, like he didn't really have this kind of like, I don't know, he didn't really have this kind of vim for him, and he was talking about like, you know, maybe potentially being a Haaland prototype, you know what I mean? So I don't get why, you know what I mean, Gary Neville's moving like this, but yeah, like, what do you think he's being harsh? Think he's being right? Like, where were you in this?
Yeah, no, I don't, bro. I don't care.
Yeah,
I actually don't care what former pundits have to say. Like, I don't know why, as fans, we kind of rile ourselves up about it, bro. I don't care what. And I actually like Gary Neville.
He's a legend. He's a club legend.
He's a club legend, but also, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Like, he's been wrong more times about people than he has been about being right.
I agree.
When he's saying stuff again about Sesko, he's entitled to his opinion, and I think with anything, right? I don't know. Is he saying this from a pundit perspective or a fan perspective, or is he just saying this like what I need context. I need good, because you know me, I don't listen to a lot
CBS. Is it CBS or CBS? NBC actually. NBC.
Okay, NBC. So he's probably saying it maybe like as a pundit perspective. Why am I listening to a defender talk about what a striker should and should? Like, if I was to listen to Sesko's criticism, if it came from like Thierry Henry on Monday Night Football, I'll sit there and watch it. I'd like to hear what he has to say. If it came from someone like Robin van Persie, I'd sit there, I'd listen to it. And that's, again, no disrespect to Gary Neville, because he's an icon. But again, it's like 10 games into the season, bro. I don't hear these criticisms about other players. I don't. In the Premier League, there's a lot more bigger flops than there is Sesko right now. Like, some people wish they had. He's got what? I think 5 goal contributions this season.
Yep.
In the league.
Yeah.
There's a couple of players I know in the league right now with bigger price tags that wish that they had that stat line. So I don't know, man. Why do you guys rile yourself up about what former players say about Manchester United and all of that stuff? Like, it's just.
Did Neville Saeed did Neville talk about, because I didn't see the quotes, but did he talk about the service into a striker? Like,
no.
Ferguson literally.
Well, he said like, you know, in terms of the opportunity. Remember the ball that was put into him that you was like, yo, your touch has to be on point. He kind of mentioned that there.
Saeed, that's one pass, right? You know, Gary Neville thinks that everybody who played for Manchester United, I was on the stands, I was there. Some of their touches were horrendous. Sometimes they would do it. These are quality Manchester United legends. So for me, the biggest thing about any striker here is about the service you provide. And how long have we been saying playing for Manchester United? It's what? A graveyard shift. Because you know what, Saeed? Midfield wins the ball back. Midfield sustains attacks. Midfield wins the ball back. Midfield gives the ball again. And can we just talk about what happened in the second half to Casemiro and Bruno? Or are we going to just...
No, we will touch on that. I just think for me with Sesko, right, if I look at like the service, you know what I mean? The problem is, right, the 2 10s have to be close to him. And I feel like there isn't much, or the 10s have to run off him like they did against Brighton. Remember the Brighton game where they ran off him and then Mbeumo scored and he gave him assist there? Like, they've got to do that. My thing is that Sesko, I think, on the ball, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been impressed with him on the ball. Yes, he had a poor game against Forest, yeah, but I still think he's so isolated up front, man. That's the
biggest problem. I think not just the isolation, but I think we're just not playing to his strengths enough.
Yeah,
like if you're right in the terms that he's isolated a lot. If we had him like as the front three rather than a front two and a lone striker, I think that would be a lot better for him, because then he'd have the opportunity to drop in, like you said, Brighton. The first half of Brighton and the second half of Brighton was two different performances for Sesko, because he went from being the target man in the box where United were spamming crosses to now dropping off of his centre backs, bringing them out into like the middle areas, linking up well, and he's good on the ball. He's what a lot of people think certain other players in the team are when it comes to his ability on the ball. And he shouldn't be that good on the ball, given his height and his stature and everything. But he's very technical. So I just don't think we play to his strengths enough. And we rather, for me, he's not, like, we're playing with him like we would play if we had Osherman, like just a box 9 kind of striker. He's not a box 9. Like, I would like Sesko to shoot more. Like, I would like him to take shots more from the edge of the box. I saw him do it quite a lot last season as well. His ability to do that, where, you know, when he drops off the centre back and spins the centre back. I've seen him do it quite a few times in the past, like last season, and then take a shot. I want to see more of that. You don't need to get to the box and to the penalty spot to take a shot. But I just feel like we're not playing to his strengths good enough.
And also the ball's not even really getting in the box. Like, I wonder how many crosses have been put in the box. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, United, who was it? What game was it? Yeah, at Arsenal. The amount of times we put the ball in the box, and obviously Cunha is not. There was, you know what I mean? There was no one in the box. Yeah. But then now we have like a guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember at least, with Zlatan. Remember Zlatan, Pogba and, the players that were with him at the time were spamming in the crosses. Like, obviously Zlatan missed a lot of chances, but at least they were getting the ball in the box. You've got to do that. This guy's got a leap. He's got an actual leap in the air. Use his strengths. Get on it. You feel me? Like, I'm seeing it now, at least with Arsenal. They're putting crosses in for Gyökeres. I mean, obviously Gyökeres might not score them, but they're putting the ball in the box. You know what I mean? For him to get on the header, and his actual heading accuracy is not even as high, maybe as a Sesko. You know what I mean? Obviously the wing backs. You know what I mean? It's a difficult one there. You know what I mean? Dalot can't really cross. I mean, Dorgu, I spoke to his trainer today, like, he was like, yo, we're working on the crosses and whatnot. But again, you know what I mean? That's something that's going to take a while to develop. You know what I mean? Amad Diallo, he's shoot first. He's actually sometimes pisses me off because it's like, bro, like, I get it, you want to score, but bro, like, relax. You get me? But he's seen Mbeumo shining. He wants to get involved. So he's going to cut in and not cross first. And Mbeumo's going to cut in, cross, shoot. Cunha's want to come in, shoot. Even Bruno Fernandes, as much as I did see a little bit of a decent performance from Bruno, where he was trying to be like a conductor, I still think for me, he'll shoot first. You get me? So who's really...
This goes back to my point, from the beginning of the video. When I said the decision-making in the team just needs to be... The manager can't hold your hand in every instance of the game.
I know.
And last season, I remember we had the opposite problem where we were crossing too much and nobody wanted to shoot. So again, for me, it's just about decision-making, and it's just about IQ, knowing when to make the right decision. And sometimes, I can't lie, an opportunity might open up for a shot, but maybe the pass might be a better option. And it's just about making that decision there. But we do have a lot of... I think we need to find players that take... Some players, I think, need to be able to find joy in assists rather than goals. I know that sounds stupid because footballers will always prefer, I think, to score goals than assists. I think a couple of people in interviews have said they prefer assists, but we need to find those players like the Amads, like the Dorgus, like the Dallots, who have to, like, they need some clauses in their contract or something and be like, yo, you ain't getting half of your paycheck if you don't get 10 assists in the season. Like, they need to create more and find that passion and that willingness to do that, rather than if they, they'd rather cut in and take a shot or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
I get what you mean. Like I don't know, Nuruddin. Can you really buy that? You can't really. It's difficult to kind of create that within your squad where we have like people who are naturally gonna do that. Maybe Luke Shaw might be one of them. Like I'm even thinking, you know what, man, Luke Shaw maybe left wing back, but then I think about his crosses and he's got a great cross on the ball. You know what I mean?
Luke Shaw can't physically do.
Yeah, I know. I know.
If anybody's got any ideas of anything, Luke Shaw cannot do left wing back because Luke Shaw physically is done out here. He is done out here. If you see how he moves, all you're gonna be is there times where he's gonna be running back and he's so physically not there, and then basically gonna be fouling people. And Manchester United are gonna be giving away loads of fouls with him. Now the biggest thing I think what Mina said is intensifies bonuses. Setting up a goal, you have to make that into a more incentive because one thing that most fans don't know about, footballers have so many different connotations of bonuses on performances than most of us like to believe. And so some of these contracts, so many different things are in. I mean, I was quite frustrated with Ahmad because Sesko was there for like 2-yard pass, and Sesko is through one-on-one on his right foot. He can pick either corner, but he starts to do this worldie all the time. No, you're not scoring them, right? Sometimes they're on, Saeed, right? Sometimes they're not, but you're not scoring these worldies where you're just cutting in from inside and doing that. But 100%, I think people need to see it. But for me, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro always said that my eyes do not lie to me. Manchester United could win 10,000 games, but I will always stay consistent. Whether we win, where we lose, whatever, I will always say that is soft donut. We're soft in the middle. And in English football, you can't be soft in the middle. You cannot be soft in the middle. Saeed, you watched the game. You didn't watch along yesterday. You didn't watch along yesterday of Man City against Bournemouth. Bournemouth come with this naivety of thinking they can play this high line. And then what was happening? Where was Dogu doing? What was he doing? Dogu wasn't out wide. Where was he? He was inside in the middle. Why was he? Because he's very good at reactive and he can also isolate individually from standing still and he can dribble the ball, right? So it's about the middle, controlling the middle. Yesterday, Man City controlled the middle with Foden, with the French kid, and with Dogu. They controlled that middle. They weren't being out wide. The left back and the right back were going out wide. They brought their wingers in to come and play inside, more inside, and to keep control of that. And all of them just winning the ball back. They were playing a quite low block against them, winning the ball back. 1, 2, 3 passes, boom, they're through because of the Bournemouth high line. So Manchester United, for me, we have to have that. But nobody wants to have that conversation. Do you know why, Saeed? Because these two dickheads have to come into play then. These two owners have to come into play. And nobody wants to have that conversation. Nobody, because it is the reason of these two. And I've shown you before, I don't know if I showed Mina, but the graph of neglecting such an important part of, in English football specifically, in a Premier League football, where you neglect and the downfall of Manchester United. But here we go. We want this coach to make us believe that Casemiro on the ball, Bruno on the ball. Football is not just when you're on the ball, it's what the F are they doing when they're not on the ball. Where we saw Elliot Anderson side, you see what he was doing? You see what he was doing? It's like he was from a different planet, what he was doing. And how Hudson-Odoi was coming off the left, exactly what Dogu was doing yesterday for City. Coming off the left and coming in inside and actually picking up the ball and running at people, right? So this idea for me that we think Casemiro, not that I don't think that those players are bad players as individually, right? Right? I hate the fact that we play through one player, Saeed, and I think that's unsustainable. You can't play through one player. You cannot just play through one player, right? I don't believe that. I just need to let Scholes in. Scholes is outside. He's been bringing in mice, so I've had to lock the door, Saeed. I can't let him because he's bringing mice in like he's some food, so I've got to let him in. 1 second.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we're going to sort out this midfield in January. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this is what it's going to be like. My worry is when Casemiro crashes out and there's a maybe a level drop from Casemiro. That's what I'm worried about. I think Bruno will continue to play how he is. I think I don't know what happens to Manu in January, but yeah, I can understand where it's coming from. Like in terms of now, it seems to be a little bit working. Yeah, there are gaps in midfield, but I wouldn't say like there's been a cause for concern from Casemiro. I think he's been one of our better players this season. It just depends on whether, his levels drop. And then obviously, who are you going to bring then on? Ugarte? Really? You get me? That ain't going to work, is it? Let's be honest. So it's that midfield has to almost navigate through that period. And I'm not going to lie, the games are coming thick and fast, especially after the international break. The November, December period, woof. We have got some big games coming up.
Is it just me, yeah? Do we always play Newcastle and Wolves in the Christmas period?
I know. I don't know what it is.
I feel like every time in that period, it's Newcastle, Wolves, and maybe Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I agree.
We're playing Wolves and Newcastle.
It's always Newcastle between the 20th and the 30th. It's always around there.
All the time.
Wolves is just a given to be playing around that winter time. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know what's tough right now, is that I think Amorim played back-to-back same 11, right? Forest and last week. Same 11, which hasn't been a regular occurrence for him. It hasn't been a regular occurrence for him. But what I'm worried about is, like you mentioned, if that drop-off happens with Casemiro. One thing about me, but I personally think Casemiro, 1 game a week, 60-ish minutes, I think he could give you a good performance. But when your other players are cold, i.e. haven't played much, because you're only playing 1 game a week, and I think when Ruben Amorim finds something that works for him, he will continue with it. And the only way I see this Bruno and Casemiro midfield not continuing, genuinely speaking, is if United get battered by another team. Then he's going to revert back to playing Ugarte there, and he's going to try something new. But I think Ruben Amorim, when he tries something and it works, he will continue with it. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But with saying that, when your players are cold, and I'm talking about Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo, if you want them to step in, say there's a drop in form, or like you said, that run in December, I think Man United are playing quite a few midweek games as well in the Premier League, obviously because it's the Christmas period. Then you have to think, okay, how can I get the best out of those players, i.e. the ones who are starting regularly, and how can I also motivate my players that are not starting regularly to play well when we need them? Because let's be honest, guys, Kobbie ain't going nowhere. Yeah? He's not going nowhere. I think, I said this last time on the Straightjacket. I said, between him and Zirkzee, I think Zirkzee is the one more likely to go, because I think Zirkzee, I actually think there is probably, and this is not my opinion, I'm thinking how Man United see this. I think they see no place for Zirkzee. But I think there's a place for Kobbie Mainoo. And I think the club feel like they can definitely fit a player like Kobbie Mainoo into the team, into the midfield, whether it's, recreating a role for him, or recreating him, or molding him into the kind of player that Amorim could use, whether it's a rotation player, whatever. Now, the question is whether he wants to play regularly or not. That's a different question.
That is fascinating, Mina. What gives you that? What gives you that intention? Because I actually don't think he rates him. I really don't.
I'm not talking about Amorim rating him. I'm talking about Manchester United.
Oh, you're talking about the club, yeah.
Like Barada, Wilcox.
Jason Wilcox.
Be more likely to sell if an offer
comes.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I agree. With you.
Because I also think it also reflects bad if Kobbie Mainoo was to be sold in January after we're being told by Amorim he's not going anywhere. Yeah, I think it reflects bad on Manchester United as an institution, not because they're selling Kobbie Mainoo, but because Jim Ratcliffe did an interview saying that we need to create more academy products so we spend less money, but then you're going and then selling one of your best academy products that have come through rather than finding a spot for him. And on top of that, you're going to sell him to bring in a midfielder. It doesn't make any sense. So I think it looks bad on them. But if an offer came for Joshua Zirkzee, I'm talking 20 million, 20 something million, they'll take it and run with it.
Apparently has been
do you agree with that, Mina? Let me just ask this 1 second. Mina, do you agree with that? Do you not think that Joshua Zirkzee can have a bad pick to play this season coming off the bench?
I think he can have, 100%, because I think he's a different mode of a player, and I think it's actually unfair on him. I think it's unfair on him that he was part of that first window of Ineos, and for him to not really get an opportunity in the team to then just be sold. I think it's kind of, what's the word? It's shaken up his career a little bit, because he could have gone somewhere. He could have stayed at Bologna. He could have stayed at Bologna for another year and went somewhere else, but he chose to come to Manchester United. Yeah. And within, the manager that brought him in, or Eric Ten Hag, who was, not integral, but he was the manager at the time when he came in, was gone after a couple of months. And suddenly,
look at this middle. The manager sees him as a 10-year, but in any other system, he's a false 9. He's a centre forward, But yet this manager here sees him as a 10.
I like Zirkzee. Yeah, let me answer your question, guys. I like Zirkzee. Yeah,
It's shocking.
I do. Well, I really like him as a player. I think he's very talented. Yeah, United's chasing a goal. Do you think he's coming off the bench to score?
No, but I think he's gonna be the guy to hold up the ball that sets up the goal for us to score the goal.
So there you go then. Because for me, if Joshua Zirkzee is coming off the bench for me, or if he's starting in this Manchester United team, like Saeed said, he's playing as a false 9, and for me, the front line has to be carried by Mbeumo and Cunha, not him.
Yeah.
Because he's not. Firstly, if he's dropping deep to link the play, to spread the ball out wide to the players on the wide channels and whatnot, he's vacating a lot of space. And they do it sometimes now with Sesko, but it's going to be a more consistent pattern with Zirkzee. Does Cunha want to do something like that? Because when Cunha has played as a false 9 himself, and he's kind of isolated from the game, kind of playing on the last shoulder of the defender, he's not really influenced the game much.
But we got
Cunha's bread and butter is dropping deep.
Nuruddin, come in the shot. You're out the shot, Nuruddin.
Sorry, I don't know. I've gone back. Apologies. Mina, sorry. Just like I'm with the boys here, just chopping old football. Mina, but Mbeumo can do that though. Mbeumo is the perfect that.
That's what I'm saying. Mbeumo can do it.
Yeah, Mbeumo can do it, and he's actually happy doing that. For me, the biggest thing is that with this midfield, Zirkzee would be the best guy to play for certain times of the game to bring. I know. Because he's the guy who actually is physically strong on the ball. Sesko is still getting used to the physicality of the Premier League, where they bump you, where we saw it on Saturday. They don't give you that much time.
Some people have said Cunha's at 8. Some people are saying that Cunha's at 8, and he prefers to play in that kind of
level. That he should be turned into Joe Linton type of player.
He's a ball dribbler, isn't it?
And the fact that maybe we're limiting him in and maybe we're limiting him.
But for me, honestly, Zirkzee would give us something if we played him just ahead of Casemiro and Bruno, because they would have somebody that actually secures the ball. They would have that, and we would look a lot better keeping the ball up the pitch. If you cast your brain back to last year before the match international, it was the only time where he got a couple of games where Zirkzee played, and we looked so much better. And then he dropped him after the international break. He dropped him. There was something in Amorim's plan. He just was like, all right, I'm not having this guy. I need to drop him. So for me, I made a video on my channel, Mina, where I was like, what the hell was him and his agent thinking? Because Amorim must have been, I mean, I would like to think Amorim is honest the way he is honest, if you want to put quotation mark, with us as fans and the press. He's honest with the players because he always talks about, I'm honest with these players. So I'm saying, we had Mount, we got Ahmad who can play as a number 10, we got Bruno who can play as a number 10, then we bring 2 other guys to play the number 10s. So what the hell was him and his agent thinking? What things were given? Because Manchester United didn't get Champions League football.
It's still Man United, man. Come on, it's still Man United.
But Saeed, we've got one game a week. Saeed, we have 1 game a week. And what guarantees was he giving if he wanted to have any ambitions?
Because Sesko just come into the country, he thought, you know what, man, I'm going to prove myself that I could be United's number 9.
He's not been given an opportunity. So you got to read the room.
Hindsight.
You got to read the room. No,
but
Saeed is not. It's not hindsight. It's not
hindsight. It is Nuruddin. Because you got a player.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me
land my point.
No, let me finish because I'm not finished yet.
It only took Nuruddin 53 minutes to say, let me finish my point.
You haven't let me land my point, though. You haven't let me land my point. What I'm saying to you is that hindsight's a wonderful thing when you're saying he should have known or he should have been understanding. Bro, Sesko is just coming to the football club. There maybe is an adaptation period. He then is in the squad. He's got a pre-season, right? He's got this understanding of the Premier League. He believes he's got a little bit of a head start. Obviously, towards the end of back end last season, Højlund was playing, so you would think that, you know what, he maybe has been a bit naive. But he was playing well. United fans were liking him. He was getting a bit more respect. He was getting a bit more understanding. So therefore, he was like, you know what, man? Second season, I can kick on now. And I'm ready for the season. Yes, you can shake your head all you want, but he would have felt that he was in a positive mode towards the end of last season. Am I lying?
No, you are lying, Saeed. You're lying because you're not taking to the facts of the matter what I just explained. You completely glossed over everything I said about.
I haven't. I've literally mentioned the fact.
I said the match international. I broke it down and said something happened in Zirkzee. So we were all tired of Bambi FC. We were sick of Rasmus Højlund eating grass more times than fighting with defenders and doing this and just falling on the floor. Yeah, the best period of last season where we actually constructed a bit of football. Games that we've lost, by the way, but we actually look better in terms of performance and holding the ball up the pitch. It was Joshua Sesko. That's why the fans were singing his name in the stadium side. We were both there.
But there you go.
So what happened? So that's what I'm trying to say to you. Then what happened? What happened?
What do you mean what happened?
No, I'm explaining what happened. Then all of a sudden, he's no longer in the team. He's not even in the squad. He's not getting any minutes anymore.
No, but he was injured at start of season.
Let him finish his point. Okay. Let him finish his point.
Okay.
Thank you, Mina. Thank you so much, Mina. Thank you. So the point I'm making is that all of a sudden, and I kept talking about it right at the time, that after the match international, something happened. He wasn't injured. He was on the bench and wasn't coming on in any games. And he was giving petty minutes, 5 minutes here and there. And then in the Europa League, he was coming on the games. And then what happened, Saeed? Remember, Mason Mount got fit then. And then who was in the team? Who was ahead of him in the pecking order for substitutions? Mason Mount, right? So he was playing not only second fiddle to Erasmus, he was also Mason Mount as a squad player. Mason Mount is somebody that Amorim loves. And we saw it in the final when Zirkzee came on. Now, Rasmus would have been off the football pitch. And Zirkzee, if you all can take that back, Zirkzee should have come on the football pitch in the second half straight away in that final. But he didn't. Rasmus still played on for another half, and then he brought him on. And then he's bringing on him in games this season, the Grimsby game, as soon as we lose. And then when we're losing, when we're getting battered by Brentford, he brings him on for some more petty minutes. And then he brings him on against Brighton. So for me, I always said, when a manager don't fancy you, read the effing room. You've got to read the room. Human beings cannot wear that. So as soon as you look at Bruno as a 10, I look at Ahmad that can play as a number 10, Mason Mount can play as a number 10, they're bringing Brian in Bermo, they're bringing Cunha, then they bought a striker. And then the coach knows that I'm not a striker. He's telling me I'm a 10. What the hell am I doing? And that's why I made the video saying what him and his agent were doing. And you're saying to me, it's Manchester United. Saeed, I'll go back to it again.
You've missed the biggest context of it, which you haven't added. He got injured against Newcastle, which made him basically out of favour, and he just about made it fit for the Europa League final. Am I lying? Yes or no, Nordin?
No, you're not lying. Right. But before that, he wasn't being played. Before that, he wasn't being played.
No, but he was, and then he got injured. And then remember, he played against Newcastle. He was having a run of games, got injured. It was very, very unfortunate. Season had finished, right? He had a pre-season. And then he got injured again, yes or no? Did he not get injured just after pre-season? Yes or no?
Yeah,
so there you go. So,
but there's been large parts where he's been fit. There was large parts.
I agree.
Last season, and
I agree.
What are we doing here?
But the thing is, though, Hoyland's competition has been gone. So if you look at it from his point of view, you say, right, they've got a new striker here, but at the same time, I feel like, and this is what strikers feel most of the time, and players in general, they feel like second season, right? They feel like, you know what, I can push on now. So I think you're thinking a bit too deep, Nordin. I look at it, was it naive? Cool. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I do believe Zirkzee was injured, and that stopped his kind of maybe momentum rather than anything. I don't think it's to do with the agent. I don't think it's to do with anything like that. It looked like, from my point of view, that the injuries stopped a lot of the momentum that was happening. He didn't even play in pre-season as well. So there you go, Nordin. That's another argument as well that you forgot as well. So we can do all of this, Nordin, and whatnot.
Players have got injured in pre-season before. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Before he got injured when he played against Newcastle, Saeed, he was not getting a run of games like he was getting. Like I said to you, I have it specifically etched into my brain what happened before the March International. Something happened between Amorim and Zirkzee.
I don't
know. I've got the evidence to back it up, and I was making
evidence. What?
Can I pull this up on my? Can I share screen?
Yeah.
Let me just share screen quickly.
Yeah, big up Wilson, by the way.
This is his run of games up until that Newcastle injury. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is where he got injured. This game here, and he came back for the final. This is the minutes that he played, right? So this is the March International was around these two games. So leading up to the international, he played 88 minutes against Sociedad, 76 against Arsenal, nearly a full game against Sociedad, 20 minutes against City. He came on as a sub, played most of the game against Forest, came on a sub against City, came on a sub here. This is when he got injured. So I kind of get what Nuruddin's saying, because he's starting some games, then he's coming off the bench some games, so it's quite inconsistent. I kind of get what Nuruddin is saying in that instance, but I think he had a decent amount of run of games here.
Yeah,
leading up to that injury, and I think that injury was just the unfortunate situation for him.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Okay,
it was
okay, Mina, Saeed, can I ask you both of you guys a question? Is Mason Mount higher in the pecking order more than Zirkzee, yes or no? Even though you could say Mason Mount's even a worse injury record than
he is higher up in the pecking order. Yeah,
I
should he be? That's a different conversation.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying to you. I saw those signs last season. I could see that last season, and it's continued to this season. That's what I'm saying to you guys.
To be fair, last season he wasn't really using Zirkzee as a 10. He was using him up front as a centre forward. So we
didn't really have
we didn't really have anyone else.
You know what? If you remember, actually, we all remember those games. Zirkzee, Mina can come. If you threw a dart and said this was his heat map, his heat map was halfway line, just inside the Manchester United half, or just 2 yards, or like in the opposition's half by 5 yards. Zirkzee was dropping so deep. He was not up the pitch as up the pitch. He was so deep, linking the play, and actually that's where Ahmad looked a bit better. Manchester United looked better. Masraoui looked better. Dogu was getting into it a bit. And because of Zirkzee's intelligence and football brain that he has, that most players in our squad don't have. And then he got taken out, and Mason Mount is replaced instead of him.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it a hot take if I say Nuruddin is overinflating Zirkzee's role in the team a little bit?
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think he is. I think
I think Zirkzee's a good player, but I think the way that you're describing him last season, especially like that run of games that he had up until the international break, I'm just thinking, bro, we were crap last season. Yeah. So to look like a shining star in a team is not. You could put me in that team, I would have looked good.
Yeah, the 100. I don't.
But that's no disrespect to Zirkzee. I just think, and I get what you mean. I get what you mean that he allows a lot of players to be unlocked, quotation mark, going forward because of the space that he vacates and his ability to take quick touches and to read the game very well and to kind of like play the pass out wide or play it forward and drag out centre backs. I get that, but also I want my striker to score goals. And I want my striker to be able to do it all. And it's unfortunate for him. I think he's still like look at world football right now, yeah. Look at the best 20 teams, yeah. Could you say every team needs a player like Zirkzee? Be honest. To start, not squad player, to start.
But
I think in this current iteration of Manchester United,
I think he's better than Sesko. You don't think Zirkzee's better than Sesko?
1 second, Musa, 1 second.
What are we doing here?
No, Musa, 1 second.
What are we doing here? Now, 1 minute. What are we doing?
1 second, please. Just 1 second. Let me answer that question.
That's the first thing I've heard Musa say since he's joined.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we're having this conversation. Like, how many goals has Sesko scored in how many games?
He scored 2 goals.
In how many games?
In I think it's 7 games.
It's 6, 7 games. You think Zirkzee will only be on 2 goals if he had started the season?
Yeah, but I think that's where the issue is a great issue.
Because my thing is this: look, they're different types of players, but the ability we saw the type of goals Zirkzee scored. He doesn't need a lot of space. He's got crazy touches. Like the thing with Zirkzee is, in terms of, he's a different type of player profile to Sesko. But Zirkzee, when he's in that graveyard shift and the ball's not coming to him, because of the type of player that he is, he goes and finds the ball and makes things happen. And he makes things happen for himself. I just feel like as a Man United striker, you need 2 types of strikers. You definitely don't need the Sesko or the Højlund type of striker. And I like Sesko and I like his ability because it's a graveyard shift. You need 2 types of strikers. You need the Osherman who would just go and score the goal on his own because he doesn't care what's going on. Or you need someone like Zirkzee who's going to come in, get involved with play, build up, and try to get a goal. But if you're just going to stay up there with your neat touches, you're going to go. The same thing that happened to Højlund, even though he had no neat touches, is going to happen to Sesko. Like Sesko, we can all see he's a good footballer, but he's not going to get goals in this Man United side if he doesn't come deep and start getting involved in the play. He's not going to get them.
Also, did you just say that Zirkzee would get more goals than?
100%. You know why? Because Zirkzee gets involved in the play. Because he's got the ability to be that type of number 10, he comes and gets involved with the play, gets involved with the build-up. So he'll get involved with Ahmad. He'll get involved with, like, sadly, Sesko hasn't got involved with anyone.
I mean this in the most respectful way. If Zirkzee drops deep to start the play, it will be the catalyst. By the time he gets up into the final third, the attack is finished.
Yeah.
No, that's it. No,
The ball
listen.
is being recycled for the ball is being recycled for the second attack. Well,
I'll show you some goals.
And hold on. Can I just say something on Zirkzee? Yeah, I think he's a good player. I said it again. This is not me criticizing him or picking him out. But when it comes to his ability to make striker instinct type of moments, i.e., you're talking about shooting and whatnot, I think Sesko clears him. And they are two different strikers.
You remember Zirkzee's first goal for United? The touch that he had, that mad little touch.
The goal that he scored on his debut.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the striker's touch. That's the striker's goal.
And then how many other times did we see that?
No, but what I'm saying is, but it's a graveyard shift. I'm not disrespecting Sesko.
I agree with that. I agree with the graveyard.
Sesko, but what I'm saying, it's a graveyard shift. What I'm saying with Zirkzee is this: he arrives late. He does the Lampard thing. He can do the Berbatov thing where you start the play, and by the time you arrive in the box, you're on the penalty box. Like, I've seen Zirkzee do that. I've seen him terrorize Arsenal from our D and carry the ball into the middle of the plot, pay 1-2s, and he's waiting to receive it at the edge of the box. Like, Sesko doesn't do that.
Him struggle against Liverpool when you want someone to be that striker that's on the final man of the centre.
No, I agree.
Again,
I agree.
He's a not different type of profile.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I agree.
To say that he'd get more goals than Zirkzee.
You know why I say he'd get more goals? Because for you to get goals in this team, it's like Ahmad. Well, you see what Ahmad done. You have to get involved. If Ahmad sits back and says, that's why he nearly scored the winner at the end of the game, because he started to get further up the pitch. If you sit back in this team and think anyone's going to help you, you've lost your mind. Sesko is going to end up getting about 7 goals all season. And the reason he's only going to get about 7 goals, because it's a graveyard shift and he doesn't get involved enough. And this is why people like Gary Neville, that's going to start on him. It's not his fault. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good footballer. But we don't get crosses into the... I think we're like something like 17th or something in terms of crosses into the box. Or 16th. Like, we don't even get crosses into the box.
I mean, that's not Sesko's
Can I just clarify this? Yeah,
no, that's why we're not cussing him.
So Musa's saying that Sesko is going to get 7 goals this year. I think he's probably halfway there.
He's on 2
because it's a graveyard shift. But in that same argument,
if he's getting 2 every 10 games,
more because he gets involved. When Zirkzee gets involved, he's creating for others. I don't think he's creating for himself.
No, but you're missing the point. See, when you get involved, it's like, remember, Berbatov used to get involved. You can get involved because that's the way you play the game. Remember, like,
Zirkzee ain't no Berbatov, bro. Stop talking about Berbatov. He's not
Berbatov. You see where he is? Berbatov's overrated, you know. Man's guy like he's like
that's a timeout. It's a timeout. Give me one.
He came to rage me. Musa came to rage me.
Just relax. Musa, take a touch.
All right, cool. If we talk about the best 10 strikers in the Premier League to ever play the game, is Berbatov in it?
We're talking about best 10 strikers.
No, let me just say, is he in the top 10?
I never said he was the best 10 in the best 10.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, so to compare someone to Berbatov doesn't make it a madness because he's not that guy. I'm saying
it does. You know why? Because Berbatov came into this Manchester United team. Who did we have at the time as strikers? And he held his own. He didn't hold his own.
We got rid of
Tevez. He came into this Manchester United team and he's struggling because we're saying it's a graveyard shift.
Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo was much better than Berbatov coming into that team. Alex was just big-headed. There was no reason you get rid of Tevez. Berbatov's better than Tevez, is what we're going to say.
2 different type of strikers. And I don't
care that's what I'm saying, but when we had Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney, we did not need to break that up. There was no need to go and get a Berbatov.
It was going to get broken up eventually. Ronaldo was going to...
I agree with you. And I remember a lot of people forget Berbatov done well for United, but there was times as well when he struggled. I remember that Berbatov era. It wasn't all like clean sailing for him. It wasn't clean sailing for Berbatov.
In that case, stop comparing him to Zirkzee.
I'm talking about touches. You see where it is? When Zirkzee terrorized Arsenal, and when I went to watch him against, when I went to the Spurs game last season, and I was sitting with the Spurs fans, I could hear them saying that Zirkzee is a beautiful footballer. And I heard some of them mentioning Berbatov. These are Spurs fans. I'm not going to make this up. So if the Spurs fans
Yeah,
were talking about,
he's close in terms of style, but
I'm not saying it's the same. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the same. Listen, no one's going to say it's the same. It's like when someone says, "Oh, my man plays like Ronaldinho." Whoever in the world is going to be compared to Ronaldinho? He's a different kettle of fish. But what I'm saying is, you lot out here saying flipping and Bumo plays like Mo Salah. Everyone always says that, but he's far from him.
He's got the same style as.
No, but you're going to say same style. So what? So Zirkzee doesn't have a similar style to Berbatov?
No, because Berbatov was unique in what he did, bro. Like,
no, but
I'm saying that Salah is not unique.
He's good at.
So anyone that has a good first touch or any striker that has a great first touch, we're going to say
it's not about that. Have you guys seen?
Anyone that can strike a ball well as a striker, I'm going to call them.
My thing is this: when we bought Zirkzee, yeah. And he was the best.
Extra now.
When we bought him, of course they are. When we bought him, he was in the Serie A team of the season as the number 9. He was the best striker that season in Serie A. He was the number 9 in the team of the season. When you go back and watch how he played, the guy resembled Berbatov in how he picks up the ball deep, skillful player, takes players on, scores from the D of the ball. Like, for me, I'm not saying he's obviously I'm not saying this
well. A lot of assists.
Lots of
Even
assists.
Musa, I would say respectfully, that's a walking league. You know, that's over 50s walking league, Serie A. Let's be real as well.
But I'm saying there's a lot of strikers. No, but I'm saying there are a lot of number 9s in that league for him to be the best that year.
Last season, I saw the clear indication him adapting his game to the physicality of the Premier League. And
I'm saying with you, but what I'm saying to you, when he was the number 9, they had Osherman in that league.
So you can come in like, when Mina says he's not all that, he was the only light in the absolute darkness.
I know, but Sesko's not better. My thing is this: we go on like
I didn't say you went
Sesko.
all that. I just said we were overinflating.
No, but we're going on like Sesko. Like, my thing is this:
again, I think he's a good player, but I think at the moment I think there's games that call for him.
But the problem is this: who is stopping Zirkzee from playing? Who's stopping him? Who's in his position right now? Sesko. Sesko had a bad game last game.
But the manager said they're not even the same profile. Do you not see the manager?
Forget that. It's not about the same. We know they're not the same profile. We know they're not the. No, we know the manager's lost his mind. But I'm just saying that they're both number 9s. And
Musa,
if Sesko's
get away from this, Musa, people were coming for you. United won 3 games. Back to life, back to reality. Tell me about the game. How did you see Nottingham Forest game?
Well, I'm not. Listen, see United. We are finished. Everyone needs to understand that. We are finished. Yeah. And if anybody wants me to put hope in Amorim, that's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm not putting any hope in Amorim. I'm just waiting for the reality.
Remember when Fast said we're second, man?
Man said we were second, screenshotting second, hyping. I'm only bantering the rivals because, listen, it's been peak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm bantering them. But I know the reality. What happened the other game? What's been happening before? The manager's going to do what the manager does. He's got individual players that I believe. Remember I said to you at the start of the season?
Yeah, you did.
Based on who we bought, I think it's going to be individual brilliance FC. And we're going to get players that's going to get us out of difficult situations and win us
right now. You're saying, innit? You're seeing that right now.
I'm seeing that right now. But I'm not excited about because Amorim. There's a few things that Amorim has to do. And remember, I keep on saying it. Everybody was Amorim in. Everybody was supporting Amorim. Even when it was slapping us bang in the face last season, loss after loss, everybody was holding it. I don't know when. Listen, we knew from last year that Amorim was not the manager. But none of us wanted to say it. We were all holding out because we wanted it to change. But the reality is, from what I'm seeing now, I'm not seeing that I'm special. It's the same, man.
Yeah.
We're in trouble. If you think we got a chance.
But my thing is, if we beat Tottenham, then the run looks decent. You feel me? It looks very good. My thing is, if we lose to Tottenham, that's where I think a lot of people are going to be like, you know what? Maybe that run was a little bit overrated. You feel me? We got to win that game against Tottenham Hotspur. Because they're going to be up for it as well. Because obviously they lost their last couple of games at home. You know what I mean? So they're going to be up for it. So we have to beat them. They've got our number. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say on here now, Saeed, breaking news, Saeed, we're going to get beaten and beaten comfortably by Thomas Frank and Spurs next
That's sad, man. I'm hoping that we got enough individual brilliance to beat them.
I've seen
I thought we was gonna.
I've seen what I needed to see. He's gonna come with the same shit tactics of hooping the ball. They're gonna try to man-mark. Every coach is watching what Elliot Anderson did, by the way, locking down in Burmo. They're gonna try to do that, and what they're gonna do is score because Saeed, regardless what you and other YouTubers and fans say about, our defense is good, our defense is fucking shit. When we come under any pressure, we're shit. We're flappers. So you can tell me about this guy, that guy. I mean, all this about Luke Shaw's been phenomenal. I'm like, shut the F up, man.
Spurs haven't been that great, though.
Yeah, exactly. You're gassing up Spurs.
They haven't been that great.
Saeed, let me ask you this question. Me and you watched that first half of the game. I was with you, and I watched the first half of the game with you. Please, can you let the whole world know who was making Spurs look as woeful as they were? Who was running the game for Chelsea?
Caicedo.
Manchester United got a Caicedo.
Oh, they got a Caicedo.
No, I'm asking you the question.
No, he said who made them look bad.
Yeah, Caicedo was running the game.
Right. Have Manchester United got a midfield that's going to be able to?
No, but they were doing.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't only just Caicedo.
Saeed, who was
a team game though.
Who was hopefully constantly winning the ball back and then starting attacks and passing the ball forward.
Yeah, I agree. Caicedo, yes.
Caicedo. Manchester United don't have a Caicedo. So
yeah, but they've lost the Wolves.
Their midfield have dominated our midfield.
I'm sorry, they drew to Wolves. They drew to Wolves. They drew to Wolves.
Man, we lost to Grimsby, whatever they're called. Allow it, man. Well, what are we going to start? What are we doing? We're going to point out bad losses and wins. The reality is this. We have a bad midfield. You see the midfield? That's what's killing us.
Bless you. More life.
The midfield is killing us. It's a problem.
Can I just bring this, by the way, to attention? Obviously, we've got 100 games since Ruben Amorim. Yeah.
Can we talk about Diego Dalot as well, please?
100 games under Amorim.
This is kind of mad, yeah. Like, most South Ferguson managers played when they've reached 3 games in a row. Amorim's took 36 games in on my night. When I seen this year, I was like, yo, this is a madness. And obviously, it's been a 1 year of Ruben Amorim. You feel me? And everyone's been talking about it, and it's one of them ones for me. Like, when I actually look back on it, it's been a mad year, man. I don't know how we pulled through it. You feel me? Certain men are still here, certain men are gone. There's members that I knew before that were there, and there's members that I don't know that weren't there and then now. But 1 year, guys, what are we saying, man? 1 year, Ruben Amorim. The fact that we got to win 3 games in a row, yeah. Ollie did it in 3 games. Obviously, he had a good record at the start.
We won the first 10 or 8. First 8
yeah.
Or 9, we won
Ten Hag, he took him 5 games. Obviously, we lost the first 2. But the next 5, he won 3 in a row. Obviously, he got 3 in a row. So, yeah, man, what are we saying?
I'll go first.
Is anyone Amorim in, though? Is anyone Amorim in?
Musa, please, 1 second. I don't think the 36 losses are for 36 games that it took him to win 3 games are on Amorim alone. I think.
Yeah, also they on Nordi.
Musa, come on now.
So he sits on the fence, man. He sits on the fence, innit? That's why.
They're not on Amorim alone. Musa, who else was picking the team with him?
Musa, can you please mute yourself 1 second?
I'm going to mute myself. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Right.
Oh.
So, I've heard it from his own mouth. He came and when the game, one of the journalists pressed him. He said the club have said we need to start now. And if it means we need to focus on the Europa League, we're going to focus on the Europa League. And you know what, Saeed? You have got the cheek to have a go at me. People, go and watch this podcast back. Mina was there. She's my witness. When I was talking about league performances, Saeed was like, nah, we just got to focus on Europa League. Mina, am I right or wrong?
Nope.
Where Saeed and these are the merchants.
Yeah, but they're not talking about. When was this though?
Come to the stand.
When did I say that? When did I say that? Was that towards
the end? You're saying it from February onwards.
No, because I said top 6 finished.
Bro. From February onwards, you were saying it's all about Europa. And I remember Nuruddin saying, it's your bread and butter.
I hear it. But the league
bread and butter. And you were like, I don't care.
Yeah, February, we were khalas. February, I was done in December. You know what I mean? Like, really and truly. February, it was Europa League only because that's the only thing I could see. But it's the same guy, by the way, that was saying one game a week we're going to get better. So I'm not hearing from Nuruddin.
No, Saeed. I said that. I said any coach worth his while. And by the way, I was not when you were pom-pomming and getting on the pole, were you pole dancing for Amorim? I wasn't. Remember that. You, the one, were talking about making video after video, talking about, oh, Amorim, the next big guy, the next big coach, the next big guy, we had to get him. Manchester United, Ineos. Remember Mina, remember Musa. Ineos, done a madness. Oh, my word. All of that, I wasn't.
I was wearing the Moncler jacket on his stream. Yeah. He was dancing with his and
what I was doing? You know what I was doing, Saeed? Well, you were doing that. I was making a video going, this guy vacates the midfield too. What are we doing here? I was making videos about Amorim and watching games, actually. Try to find games to watch about with his Sporting Lisbon team and go, I don't think this can translate in the Premier League. The Premier League is a lot harder. So, Saeed, save it. I always said if we had somebody like Zirkzee, if we had a proper coach, he would be able to coach week in, week out. I said that. With getting rid of and not just the coach, Mina will understand what I'm talking about. Is that it's the planning. It's the recovery and the planning for the game. And when you got more time to plan for the game in the Premier League, you should be able to do better. But Amorim, he's shown himself, he's tweaked it, and we played more long balls than we did against Liverpool and we did against Brighton, against bloody a team that is used to that type of football. In Nottingham Forest. So what are we talking about? And he's dropping in 2-10s. Like, what are we doing here? And then we're all here, sat here, shocked that Sesko didn't get the ball. Because the two guys who should have been up there with him are all coming back down, but we're still getting bullied anyway. So I'm sorry, Saeed, you cannot escape this. So do I blame him? The words came out of Amorim's mouth, and everybody who pays attention, who can remember it, he said, the club have said to me to start now. So if we get him beat, then we're getting beat. And I kept saying to you, I kept talking about it and saying, what's going to change? What's going to change in that time between us, the end of the season, and us and new season starting? Straightjacket after Straightjacket podcast, I kept talking about it going, you guys think next year is like a year away. Next year was only 3 months away. The next season was only 3-4 months away. So I'm sorry. I don't blame it all on him. I never sit on no fence. One thing, Saeed, you could say about me, it's guaranteed. You know what, in my grave, you can write, you never sat on the fence because I've always got opinion. And my opinions are strong, whether you agree or disagree or indifferent. Or you can tell me I'm waffling. You can say I'm waffling. You can say it's a howler, but you can never say I'm sitting on the fence. I've said I don't blame this guy because this guy is doing everything I would expect of a guy who's coming from Portugal, who has got no experience, where he's the 30-year-old coach. Mina knows more about Premier League football than the 30-year-old number 2 that he has. What are we doing here? So what my expectation is, when you were Monclaring it up in the studio, Saeed, I was saying, I'm not sure about what's going on here. What are they doing with this guy? So I don't just blame him, because you know what I don't do, Saeed? Protect this dickhead here. And Wilcox and that Omar Barada potato head. I don't protect them. I don't. But you will always get, it's all on it. And Luther, that's the difference between me and you. I never put it on just the coach. It's the people who bought him here, and I'm mute for now.
Yeah, but you talk about midfield, but then did you not say put Maxi Oyedele and Collier in midfield, and that will solve our issues?
100,000,000%. I'd rather go on a journey with young players, because you know what, Saeed?
Hold on.
Let me finish. You put that out, Saeed.
Gosh.
I will always play youngsters for Manchester United. Do you know why? Because I actually seen young players who, when you know what, you make it out like in around the 90s, everybody was going, oh my God, Beckham's gonna be the next. No, Beckham was sent out. Beckham only became a starter at Manchester United at the age of 23. He was at Preston with David Moyes. What are you waffling about? Scholes, they weren't even sure about Scholes because he was small. He had asthma.
We can't compare. They were generational talent. They were generational talent.
Saeed, they were not before they started proving it on the football pitch.
Come on, man.
It's about opportunity. And if you don't understand that, I can't help you. Because your FIFA generation think that players are the same factory in FIFA where you make the players and the players are all perfect and then they come into the team, and then that's it, they're perfect. No, football doesn't work like that. There are many footballers who have not had the opportunity, and we never know what their careers could have been. And there are footballers who got given opportunities and actually proven that they're amazing. And it's also the environment. With young players, it's about the environment you set. And the environment of them coming into that 92, in the class of 92, was 5, 6 captains. Bruce, Pallister, Cantona, Roy Keane, Paul Ince. Paul Ince just left. Who else? Who else was in the team? So many. Ryan Giggs. All these guys could have captained Manchester United. So Giggs, by the way, was the only one that break through, and he was the only one that had the natural talent. And he had to be managed. Fergie had to go to parties to get him out, Saeed. Call people and say, get these people to go home. That's what Fergie had to do with them. So it was about the environment. So to me, Toby Collier and these guys, I'd rather have them, Saeed, especially in English football, than have fucking Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. Because one thing I would say about Toby Collier and about those guys, Saeed, no. What I'm saying to you, off the ball, they would show a bit more than Casemiro, who's had it now, than they would. Yes, they would. Because it's about the opportunity, Saeed. And if you don't understand that, I can't help you. But it's a cheap shot, but you miss.
No, but it's for me,
try again, Saeed. Go on, try again. What are the cheap shots you got?
What you're saying is, let's solve the problems, but then you're adding more problems to it. I think for me, yes, Oyedele might be talented in certain ways, but bringing him into this environment, in this formation here, that for me is catastrophic for these young players. I'm sorry. Like we see Collier, and yes, there was a bit of talent, but it's not good enough, bro. Like if we want to be the best.
In that second half,
that's what they said about this kid that everyone's after at Forest. They said he weren't good enough.
Saeed, I'm not going to lie to you, right? Collier, in that second half coming on, would have given us a bit more, a forefront of winning a ball back and giving it so that we can sustain a bit more attack to go and get the third goal. Yes or no? Miller, from everything you've seen from him, am I chatting shit or am I chatting shit?
Don't bring her into it.
No, I'm asking the question.
Miller's the eyewitness. Miller's the eyewitness. She was there.
You're asking me questions on the stand.
Yeah, that's it. We're not
the eyewitness.
Justification for Collier.
Also, see, what you said about Nuruddin was a little bit disingenuous because he didn't say we were going to get better with one game. His argument was what's going to change in the summer that's not changing now. But he did say that more time on the training pitch to reinforce the manager's idea should help the players. And if it doesn't, then there's a problem with the manager and the way he coaches or the understanding of the players. He did say that.
I agree.
But the way that you made it sounded a bit.
No, I know, because you know what it is. Because you know what it is with Nuruddin, yeah. I get it, yeah. I understand that it's not on the manager. We all know that. The players have to take responsibility. Ineos have to take responsibility. But Nuruddin has a habit, and I've been on a Straightjacket many a times of saying something and then now putting 2 and 2 together and say, you know what? Well, I did say it, but not in this context. So Nuruddin, that's why I'm calling you out, Nuruddin. And you know already, because we had these arguments beforehand, and I would say, well, we should have a short-term solution and we should do quick fix now. And you would explain, well, hold on a minute, there's a long-term vision and we've got to do this one game a week. So Nuruddin, I'm just playing by what you said to me. That's all it is. But Musa, you gotta say something there, bro.
No, United's finished, man. That's all I know.
That's what you need to know.
I'll be honest with you because
Musa's United's finished. That's it. United's finished.
Because I look at every look. Like obviously, we spoke about the 36 games before we can get 3 wins in a row. The reason I blame the manager is that if you've created an environment where your team that you pick week in, week out cannot win you 3 games in a row, that's on you. Because you've had 36 games to look at the squad and say, okay, cool. Who am I going to allow to just stay in this 11? And he went all around the clock, and now he's fallen onto the experienced players of Luke Shaw, Casemiro, Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, and here we are. He went around the whole clock trying to pick this one, picking that one, and we've come back to these players. And I don't know, man. I just look at it and I just feel like, again, Saeed, it's a short-term solution to get wins. I get it. He's fighting for his life. He needs to pick up points. But long-term, if we end up finishing 5th or 6th and we're playing this football that's not sustainable, there's still going to be a part of the fan base that says, he's earned the chance to start again next season. He's earned the right to have enough. He hasn't earned no right. We can see it with our own eyes.
Let me ask you guys a question then. Would you rather pretty football and inconsistent results, or would you rather every game United are picking up points. The football ain't pretty, but you're picking up points. Because last year we were losing our mind about losing games. I remember under Erik ten Hag, we were winning games in his first year, and people were talking about style of football. And then when that style of football, the Erik ten Hag way, came, we were losing, and people were losing their minds, saying we need results. We need results.
I agree.
Okay, Mina, can I ask you a
You have
question?
to have a balance.
Mina, can I just clarify one thing with that question? Right, playing good football, is that good football leading to sustained improvement of the team, or just good football for good football's sake? What qualify
however you like it, but it's not getting you the results that you want.
Okay.
It's a good pattern of football. You're seeing a style of play from the manager. You're seeing, the wing backs utilized in the way that the manager wants. You see Dallo playing as a left wing back, whatever. Yeah, you see all of that stuff, but the results are not coming to fruition. It's inconsistent. United are winning a game here and there. They're picking up draws. They're losing, but the football can be identified. You can tactically break it down when you watch the second replay of the game the next day in Nuruddin, but the results are not there. At this given time, given the season that United had last year, what would you guys want?
Okay, let me clarify my answer because it's specific. Okay, because usually if a style of play and an identity team builds, what that shows is that actually it's not with the identity or the system that the coach is using, is that the quality of the players in the positions to make the system work, right? So I rather have the inconsistencies if we're going to improve players being changed. Like, for example, when Pep came into Man City, he already had a spine to work with, but he had to build the rest of the body, right? In that, he had the skeleton, especially the spine down the middle, but he had to build for him to be able to play his type of football. So for me, as somebody who goes to matches, Mina, I would always come back for me. The way I was brought up in Manchester United, when Manchester United had a stability of football, and majority of games Manchester United played front foot attacking football and tried to win football the right way, it worked. But at times, I knew Fergie would park the bus and to get a result. And I was happy to have that contrast. But here, in the last 10 years, the football has been dog shy. So at this moment in time, for me, the way we win matters. The way we lose matters. So for me, if we had a trust coach, like when Klopp first came into Liverpool, and you can see what he was trying to do. If I saw that from a coach, I will be coming on here and on every other platform I have, defending the coach, saying, you know what, we just need to improve on the player profiles. I believe in this coach and the system. I can't say the same. So that needs to be clarified. But at this moment in time, do I see what Musa's saying? At this moment in time, he's doing it. He has to do these things to get results because he's under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I would prefer better football, Mina, if that means it's going to be. Because I'm a believer. Performance can be sustained over the long term than quick results.
But also that description that you gave there, Mina, to me, is similar to where we see Chelsea in terms of they have moments of good football. They're a team that we can say they're also inconsistent. But if you look at their last 2 years and where they finished and the level of football that they've been able to play at a certain point in the season, they've had good moments. Whether it's winning the trophies they won last season, whether it's beating PSG in the summer, whether it's qualifying for top four, whether it's winning Champions League games. Yes, the Chelsea fans will complain and say, oh, we're a bit inconsistent. Some of the players are not consistent, but they're also a club that have very good moments and things that they can be happy about. Players that they can see doing very well within a system, and it's not consistent. Why can't we have that? Why does United's one have to be us fighting like relegation or
I don't think Chelsea's situation is comparable. I get what you mean.
They're not consistent though. But my thing is, when you comparable. Yeah, because when you say that in my head, would you prefer to have a team that's not consistent?
No, I'm asking you right in this given time. It doesn't have to be for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm saying in this given time, the last 3 months.
This given time, in my head, when you say
sacrifice those three wins in a row, some of it was good performances, some was okay, But if United were bopping teams off the pitch and they're not getting results,
I'll prefer what Chelsea are doing. I'll prefer, because when you say that to me, I think of a Chelsea. Chelsea are inconsistent, but they bop certain teams off the park. I'll rather have that, and they are able to win trophies with that. If I had that, and it meant that we don't win the league anytime soon, or we don't win the Champions League, but we're seeing that level of performance, we're bopping teams off the park, but then we might go through this period like they do where they haven't won in a couple, and you're like, what's going on here? And then they win again. I know, like we would, if Man United was like Chelsea, we would be moaning 100% because they're moaning as well. But I would prefer to be moaning in that situation than being here.
You would prefer to be moaning in that where you're bopping teams off the pitch apparently, and getting results here and there, but you spent nearly 2 billion.
I still prefer to be that because it's Champions League.
But you're in the Champions League. You're getting invited up in the Champions League.
Yeah, no problem. But Chelsea is still in there. My thing is where we are now. You see, like the fact that you've even had to use those two analogies. I get it. That's how bad we are. But
no, I don't think it's a bad analogy. Do you know why I'm using that analogy? Because when we had one, people were complaining. When we have the other, people were complaining. So what is
you
it?
know what I always say as well, though,
about Chelsea, 2 billion spent, bro. They got, and no disrespect to Maresca, but this is his first. Like he coached at Leicester, right, in the Championship. Yeah. Chelsea is different gravy. Chelsea is different gravy, but he's got a lot more, I think, time. Number one, number two, and financial resources. They can go out and spend 50 million on Gittins and 40 millions on Garnacho and bring in the lap and do this and do. They can do all of that, and
that's the owners. He hasn't even got to say so, but I think we just got bad owners. But I agree in terms of what we had before. We complained, but I always say we were complaining about different things. Like Erik ten Hag, we complained because we knew he couldn't win the league, but he got us third. And our complaints was, is this manager good enough to win the league? Right now, we have a manager where people don't know if he's good enough to get top four. That's what's scary. With Oli and that, Oli finished third, second, and it was like, or second and third, and then it was like, Oli, you can't win the league. Like that was something that I don't mind being in a situation like Chelsea where you're top four, winning trophies, but then you're trying to find a manager that can win you the league. We're just trying to find a manager that can get us top four. This is unheard of.
Well, because we're in a different cycle to Chelsea. By the way, I don't even think Chelsea fans would say that they want to be in the position that they are right now.
No, nobody would, because when you're in that
position.
Yeah, you know it's because it's like Man United. When we were there, we didn't want to be in that position. Remember, when we finished third and second, everybody was like, how you lot getting onto Oli? You lot finished third and second. What do you want? Like a lot of the fans, like people mocked us, but outside of football, when people were saying keep Oli, it's because they were looking at what we had done in the last 2 years. But guess what the media said? It's not good enough for Man United to finish third. It's not good enough for Man United to finish second. And we believed the hype that second and third was actually failure. But now we're crying for it.
Yeah. Let me get these super chats in. Gary O'Neill withdraws himself from the process of becoming the next Wolves manager. Wow.
Why would he go back there? Why would they ever think that he would go back there after what they did to him? Like, what are we doing here?
Felt opportunity to make shot return to Molyneux. Not right for him at this time. Search ongoing. So it may go for Ten Hag, man. I wish they go for Ten Hag, please, man. So I can see.
Ten Hag linked with a job site. Is he linked with a job? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wish he goes to Wolves, man. I need to see that downfall, man.
Amorim should go to Wolves, man. We should sack Amorim and go to Wolves.
He does a madness, what about
bro,
he does a madness?
He won't do a madness, man. I need to see that.
You know that if we didn't sign Amorim, he would have been a Wolves manager, you know.
I know.
Levels, you know.
I know. He was on. You don't see the Athletic report. He was on the last on the list for the manager role. Did you know that, by the way?
Yeah, of course he was.
I don't know if Miller did. Miller, did you see that?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? What were you thinking of Amorim before we got him?
Before we got him?
Yeah.
I was skeptical. I wasn't excited about the idea of him, but I will say that the idea of a young prospect manager was enticing.
Yes.
But I also think that his style of football, the way that he played football at Sporting, and I would say the shortcomings in Man United, it was on show then, and I broke it down. I remember on my channel, so I knew that United. I was on this time last year.
I watched your video. I remember watching your video.
This time last year, I was on Sky Sports on Saturday Social doing a keep and sell, and I think I put 80% of the squad in sell.
I remember that.
And 80% of them are still here.
Yeah.
We're finished. I told you, we're finished.
Let me go and bring these super chats in before we go to Nuruddin's video. Zirkzee, then we read that one there. Big up to Dams. Zirkzee shooting techniques rubbish. Big up to Dams again.
Who is that guy? Tell him to meet me in South London.
Huge mistake on Zirkzee being wasted would be perfect for the system. With profile of 10s, we have Ahmad. Could drop in spaces, Link arrive late in the box. Yeah, maybe. I think you're
and
right.
Bumo has to go right wing back. I keep on saying it. And Bumo has to be wing back. No one ain't listening to me. But
big
Bumo
up
in
the
the
women's
10.
team, by the way. Big up the women's team, you know.
Yeah,
they won
following
yesterday again.
Yeah. Look like Skinner learned a lot, but we got a good second.
Skinner, Skinner in, man. I told you guys about Skinner,
I'm
man.
not Skinner in. I'm not Skinner in.
No. I rate him. He's switched it up. That's the thing.
Yeah, man.
You got new coaches, Minaz. You got new coaches.
We've got a new assistant coach. Yeah, new
That's
assistant
what
coach.
I'm
We've got a
thinking.
new goalkeeper coach.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. No credit for Skinner, man. That's crazy.
Mate. The way he treated some of the women in the team, man, is horrible. Some of these players do, man. I don't agree with it.
Listen, people, make sure you lot check out I like the video. I don't know how many likes we're on, man, but I guess it's going to be around about 300 mark. 376, guys. It's so easy.
Shocking, by the way. That is so shocking.
Man. Guys, man, it's easy just to like the video. Doesn't cost you a penny. We don't charge you, you know what I mean, for the content. Just please like the video. That's all you got to do. Hit the like button. We are going to be premiering Nuruddin's live. He said, "Are you sick of this?" Okay. You know what I mean? So Nuruddin's got a video coming out. Are you sick of this? You know what I mean? Are you sick of the, you know what I mean? Like the ranting and raving. I don't know what is it. We have to find out, Nuruddin, man. The midfield. Are you sick of the midfield? We'll have to find out, man. Brito comes in last minute, says, if Arteta don't win anything at Arsenal, would you take him at Man United? I wouldn't personally, but it is what it is. You would, then there you go. He developed
the style. He developed the style.
I was thinking,
about him. He developed three different styles of play. Arteta developed 3 different styles of play. He went super defensive when he first came in. He went super attacking when he's coming, and now he's trying to win a league playing pragmatic football.
Yeah. There you go, man. So big up to you. I'll be back for the Everton game, man. Sunderland, man. That should be an exciting game. So I'll see you lot over there later on as well, man. But big up to everyone locked in. We're out. Peace.